Hello everyone and welcome back into my kitchen. Today's recipe is going to be simple, but it's going to be very delicious. So let's do it. Month's collab, I'm making Congri, and that is a dish from Cuba. So what we're going to use for that is some black beans. Now I washed them and soaked them for about an hour or so in water, and this is what it came in. So I'm just going to put that here in my Instant Pot. And I'm gonna add, let me see, I'll say about 4 or 5 grains of garlic. These are little ones, so getting them in here. 1 bay leaf. I'm gonna put these mini bell peppers in here, and I'm gonna also put some chicken bouillon, about a tablespoon. I'm gonna put a little bit of my adobo. For now, about a teaspoon, and a little bit of cumin, about a half a teaspoon. Let me get some more water in here. Alright, so I just have enough water in here to just about cover it, and I'm using my pressure cooker. Now you can actually cook this on the stove in a Dutch oven or something if you wanted to, but to speed up the process, I'm going to use this. And I will pressure cook it for about 20 minutes, and then we'll come on back and move to the next step. Okay, so while my beans are going here, let me show you the rest of the ingredients. I have here 3 mini red bell peppers. I'm going to cut them into small dice. I have a couple of small bay leaves, 5 small cloves of garlic. We're going to use some more Mexican oregano, black pepper, adobo, or whatever all-purpose seasoning you decide to use, chicken bouillon, chopped onion, dehydrated onion, cumin, and some thyme. So I will get this diced up, blend up my garlic, and I think I'll put my dehydrated onion in there as well, get it all blended up, and get ready for when we move to the next step. Okay, alright guys, so this was in the Instant Pot for 20 minutes, and it's tender, but it still has good structural integrity. So next I'm going to set up so we can do the second step of this. Guys, so for the next step, what I have here is some bacon. Now I didn't have regular bacon, I have turkey bacon, but I fried it and chopped it up into pieces. Historically, pork bacon is used, but we're using turkey today. I have a couple tablespoons of oil in here. And you know we already have our beans that are cooked here. And I mentioned to you that I'm going to blend up my garlic and my onion here. So I did that. So I'm going to get my heat on. And what I have here is 4 cups of jasmine rice. I'm going to get this washed and ready to go. So I'll heat this up, and we're going to go in with this and move on. Okay, now we're going in with my onion and garlic. Get that sauteed. And meanwhile, I'm going to put a little bit of my Mexican oregano. About a half a teaspoon. I'm going with my thyme. You can use 1 sprig or just a couple shakes because this stuff is pretty pungent. Again, going in with my cumin, repeating the same flavors. That's about a teaspoon. And we already put that in our blender. Let's get some black pepper going. That's about a half a teaspoon. Okay, I'll get this going around here just to release the flavors. Now in with my rice. Did I say this is about 4 cups? I'm just eyeballing it, but it doesn't matter how much you decide to cook. The rule of thumb for getting great fluffy rice is to put liquid in your pot about an inch above everything that's in your pot. So it doesn't matter if you take 2 cups or 10 cups. It's the same formula and it'll turn out pretty good. They're actually very good every time. Alright, let's go in with a little adobo. Now I'm just putting a little bit now because remember we had put salt or adobo and Maggi in, or beans, and the beans are going in here. So you want to be mindful of that. And I like to do my rice in first because I feel I have better control of the liquid that way, of the liquid that I add in, if that makes sense. And you can always have an idea what it would taste like by taking your finger and tasting the back of your spoon. So I feel it needs a little more salt, but like I said, there's salt in the beans, so I'm taking that into consideration, yeah? Alright, let's go in with our beans. There's one of the garlic cloves. So take up another one of the large garlic cloves. I'm going to let this go here and get it combined, and taking into consideration what I said earlier about putting liquid about an inch above, we need a little more liquid in here. I'm also going to go in with some red bell peppers. Lost one of them on the counter. And then I'll add a little more water. Let me get some hot water to go in. Alright, so I have water in my pot here about an inch above what's in the pot. I'm going to leave my heat on high and let the water go down to the level where you can see the rice, then turn the heat all the way down, lit it up, and let it go for about 20 minutes and we'll be all set. Now guys, remember that this is a collaboration. Everyone in this collaboration is going to make a dish from Cuba, and there are going to be lots of things for you to see. Please go on down in my description box and you will see a list of content creators and the dishes that they'll be making. I would really appreciate it if you would check them out. I mean, you can have a whole meal set up just looking at me and what everybody else is making, okay? Alright, I'll see you in a little bit, guys. So our rice is done. It's been going for about 20 minutes. And I'll stir it up here so you can see how fluffy it is. Look at that. And it's cooked nicely. And like I said, when you're making rice, just put liquid in there about an inch above what's in the pot and it'll turn out great every time. Look at that. Smells fantastic too. Alright guys, thank you so much for coming back into my kitchen. Please remember that this is a collaboration. I would really appreciate it if you could go down in my description box and check out what my friends are making. Thank you so much for coming back into my kitchen, and I'll see you next time when I promise to make another delicious recipe. Bye!